Nature is entirely devoid of compassion. With every passing second, a death sentence is silently pronounced. Amidst the dust, life resurrects from death itself. The ultimate game of survival begins right now. A moonless night blankets the Savute Basin like an absolute black shroud, devoid of light, completely devoid of silhouette. In this darkness, the earth trembles beneath the deliberate footsteps of dozens of elephants traversing the parched terrain. They are entirely unaware they are being watched. Dozens of luminescent green eyes close in from three sides. Staying low, the Savute lions tightening their ambush in absolute silence. The scent of old blood lingers, remnants of a hunt 3 nights prior, where a 4-year-old calf fell mere strides away. Here, the Savannah's laws are written with fangs and memory, with strategy and patience honed over decades. Overcome the giants or collapse under your own pressure. What truly grants wildlife a chance to survive? The answer lies not with the strongest or most numerous, but where raw might fails and intellect awakens. From Botswana's scorching Savute Basin, where lions challenge giants, to the sweltering Zambezi Valley, where young predators learn survival from scratch. And finally, to Zambia's remote South Luangwa, where a solitary hunter proves that silence can overpower an entire pack. Three wildernesses, 3 different rules, 3 forms of intelligence dictating who lives and who falls. The journey begins precisely where darkness consumes absolutely everything. The Savute Basin, Botswana, a barren depression exceeding 100 square miles, where the roaring Savute Channel vanished in 1981. For nearly 3 decades, water disappeared, and thousands of elephants lost their ancient migration routes to the Okavango Delta. Artificial waterholes were excavated amid the cracked earth, a human solution that tragically became an ecological trap. Instead of dispersing across vast wilderness, thousands crowded around tiny water points, cramped, exhausted, and utterly exposed. This extraordinary concentration penned an unprecedented chapter in the history of the African savanna. Amidst the dense herd, a pregnant female plods heavily, her belly swollen after a 660-day gestation. "660 days, nearly 22 months, the longest pregnancy among all terrestrial mammals." Surrounding them, females form a loose defensive ring, ears flared outward, intercepting acoustic signals human ears could never perceive. The commander is the matriarch, possessing a brain weighing nearly 11 pounds, the absolute heaviest of any land animal. This brain holds more than a map of water sources for hundreds of miles. It is the herd's living library. Every threat, every roar, every dangerous scent across 6 decades encoded within the densest neural network in the natural world. The matriarch communicates via infrasound frequencies below 20 Hz, beneath human hearing, traveling as seismic waves exceeding 6 miles. Other elephants feel these signals through their souls, each vibration carrying a command: advance, halt, or flee. Yet her most extraordinary ability is selective hearing. She can distinguish individual male lions by their unique acoustic signatures. A familiar roar from an aging northern male, the herd continues moving peacefully. But a strange, deeper, more resonant call from an uncharted direction prompts the matriarch to order an immediate halt. A split-second decision built upon 60 years of accumulated memory is precisely what separates a surviving herd from a fallen one. Yet even a 60-year-old intellect has limits on Savute's darkest moonless nights. The matriarch loses her greatest advantage, her vision. Elephants possess poor nocturnal eyesight, and this is exactly when the Savute lions emerge. When the matriarch falls in a night ambush, the herd loses something invaluable, a generational navigation system accumulated over decades. A younger female steps up, but her memory spans a mere 20 years, compared to the 60 years of experience just eradicated. The orphaned calf, barely months old, stands beside its mother's body, its trunk gently caressing her head. Researchers call this mourning. Another female approaches and nurses the orphan, a cross-lineage adoption rarely witnessed anywhere else on Earth. The herd survives but loses its navigator, now forced to travel further, drink less, and embrace greater daily risks. Generational memory is severed. From here on, every decision begins in complete uncertainty. The remaining elephants must rely on the young matriarch's inexperienced judgment, paying the price in mistakes the old herd never faced. Yet the matriarch's killers, the Savute lions, do not act out of malice. They hunt because they have no alternative. Between August and November, rains cease and migratory species abandon the basin: antelope, zebra, young buffalo, all vanishing alongside the water. Only elephants remain, comprising over 90% of the total surviving biomass across the Savute plains. With nearly 30 members to feed, the Savute pride must consume twice the food of an ordinary lion pack. They evolved into something no other African pride dared attempt. They became highly specialized elephant hunters. Their primary weapon is not strength, but darkness. Savute lions strike on moonless nights, when elephants are practically blind. Researchers Derek and Beverly Joubert documented between 1993 and 1996 the pride felled one elephant every 3 days, 74 in 3 years. Their success rate surges in pitch blackness and plummets during a full moon, as light allows giants to spot enemies afar. An attack can rage for hours, and victory is never truly guaranteed. Their tactic is incredibly complex, leaping onto the elephant's back, gripping with claws, and dragging prey down using body weight. An adult elephant can swing its trunk to hurl a lion dozens of feet away. But on Savute's darkest nights, when every advantage favors the predator, even the matriarch cannot withstand the onslaught. One side relies on 60 years of memory to evade danger, the other utilizes darkness and teamwork to exploit every vulnerability. Yet dominion in Savute is no eternal privilege. When nomadic male lions invade the territory, the power hierarchy is ruthlessly overturned. They depart, leaving behind only fading dust in the distant memories of the Savanna. Hundreds of miles east, the Zambezi Valley swelters in the October heat, a period locals dubbed the suicide month. Temperatures frequently exceed 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Dense air hangs like boiling steam above the baked earth. The pride recently exiled from Savute arrives with dull coats, protruding ribs, and deeply ravenous eyes. In Savute, they held a numerical advantage. Here, that edge is obliterated, facing prey that is smaller, swifter, and infinitely more vigilant. Their nervous systems remain untempered by failure, leading to their very first fatal mistake, pure impatience. They launch their assault too soon, too loudly shattering the golden rule of predators. Wait until the target is weakest. The prey reacts instantly, sprinting, raising alarms, and vanishing before the lions can close the distance. Dehydrated, exhausted, and stripped of confidence, the young lions experience being counter-surveilled by the very creatures they wish to hunt. Their every move is monitored by piercing eyes from above, scent-detecting snouts afar, and an unprecedented cross-species warning network. But amidst the impatience of these novice hunters, the eldest lioness, the mother of the pride, teaches a profoundly different lesson. She lies motionless in the shade for hours, gaze fixed on the water's edge where buffalo will drink at dusk. The lesson is simple but brutal. Those who wait, eat. Those who rush, starve. The young hunters observe their mother, learning to restrain their predatory instincts. They begin realizing that stillness is the bedrock of strategy. And their first true test in the Zambezi arrives not from a fragile victim, but from the most dangerous adversary this pride has ever faced. The Cape buffalo, an aging bull, weighing over 1,500 pounds, sporting swept-back horns tarnished black by time. These old bulls left the main herd long ago past their breeding prime, forming small bachelor groups of 2 to 5, wandering the fringes. The Zulu call them Dagga boys, the mud boys, for their habit of wallowing in sludge for hours to regulate body heat and suffocate parasites. They appear slow, worn, and solitary, but hidden beneath that weary facade is something no young lion possesses: decades of survival experience. No longer protecting calves, no longer competing for mates, all the Dagga boys' energy focuses on one sole purpose: self-preservation. Every predator encounter is logged in a behavioral library, a vault of experience no textbook could ever provide. And the most critical lesson in that library is a singular rule: face them and strike back. As the young hunters charge, the old bull does not retreat a single step. He pivots, lowers his heavy brow, and instead of standing still, over 1,500 pounds of muscle roars, charging straight into his enemies. This tactic completely shatters the lion's instincts, evolved to pursue panic, fleeing prey turning their backs. To fell a massive target, Lions need prey to run so they can leap aboard and drag it down. But when the quarry willingly transforms into a frenzied tank, crushing everything, the inexperienced lions completely lose their absolute control. Hard-earned experience and pure aggression save him from the apprentice lions. But do not let this victory deceive you. Data from Kruger National Park reveals a cruel paradox. Dagga boys are 5 to 7 times more likely to be killed by lions than herd buffalo. Because, stripped of the protection of thousands, these solitary old bulls will ultimately succumb to more seasoned, veteran lion prides. It is a calculated trade-off, nutritional freedom exchanging for risk, a gamble where only experience keeps the better alive. The scars on their hides are not merely remnants of the past, they constitute a survival map every lion must learn to read. Looking upon it, mature lions intrinsically understand, this is an adversary far better left alone. The adolescent lions depart empty-handed, and their first Zambezi lesson is carved into bone. Raw power is meaningless when the hunted outsmarts the hunter. Yet Dagga boys are not the greatest threat to the young pride's success. The Savanna's sprawling intelligence network is the true terror. High atop granite boulders flanking the sandbanks, Chakma baboons, southern Africa's most intelligent primates, stand upright at nearly 4 feet, observing absolutely everything below. They possess trichromatic vision, similar to humans, a rarity among mammals, an evolutionary advantage, eluding most other beasts traversing these plains. This three-color vision pierces the lion's golden camouflage amidst dry grass, rendering perfect, meticulous stealth utterly useless. Their rotating sentinel system operates day and night. One keeps watch from above, while the rest forage below. When a sentinel spots a lion hundreds of yards away, a single alarm bark echoes, and this signal is not just for their own kind. It is an interspecies broadcast. Warthogs, impalas, even birds all decode the baboon's cry and react with profound immediacy. The element of surprise, the lion's paramount weapon, is completely neutralized by a single, resonant sound. The warthog, seemingly bulky and clumsy, but never mistake its rugged appearance for its capability. With a low center of gravity and immensely powerful hind legs, it hits speeds of 30 to 31 miles per hour when provoked. Add its ability to turn sharply in tight spaces, a feat a 400-pound lion could never hope to mimic. As the warthog zigzags across rugged terrain, the lion's sheer mass becomes a burden every turn, sacrifices momentum. Every leap drains double the energy. The chase ends in less than 20 seconds. The warthog vanishes into an earth burrow. Brute strength is entirely futile without a tactical understanding of the terrain. The second lesson the Savanna imparts to these young lions: what do you think helped the young pride survive this ordeal? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Under such immense pressure, the lions begin climbing leadwood and acacia trees along the Zambezi, shattering their image as absolute ground lords. Aloft, convective breezes provide cooling relief, significantly lowering their body temperatures compared to the scorching earth beneath. But the real advantage is visibility from the canopy. Lions can survey prey, moving across vast, sprawling stretches of land. Hunger, the most intense biochemical driver in nature, is fundamentally rewiring their complex neural pathways. Every failure logs a new lesson. Every pang of starvation forces the brain to seek novel solutions, rather than repeating old reflexes. From predators who simply charge blindly at a target, they are transforming into calculating hunters who assess, wait, and choose their moment. Raw force slowly yields to strategic thinking, a spectacular cognitive evolution unfolding right within a single generation's fleeting lifespan. They learn that gravity can be an ally, launching strikes down steep banks, where prey loses balance and cannot hit top speed. They learn that friction is a weapon, luring targets into soft sand, where every single step costs triple the energy. They learn that time is a silent assassin, waiting until the adversary is exhausted, dehydrated, and off guard before delivering the fatal blow. These predators are entering a stage of advanced cognitive evolution, moving from pure instinct to highly adaptive intellect. No new genes are written into their DNA, but their neural networks are entirely reconfigured by experience, starvation, and repeated failure. But this profound test of intellect is not exclusive to pack animals hundreds of miles south. A solitary master proves the exact opposite. South Luangwa, Zambia, 9,050 square miles of wilderness, where conservationist Norman Carr pioneered the walking safari in the 1950s. The Luangwa River, one of Africa's last great undammed waterways, meanders, carving countless oxbow lakes and deeply fertile floodplains. Here, life converges from all directions, yet the ruler of this domain is not the largest or the most populous species. The leopard, weighing between 66 and nearly 200 pounds, stretching nearly 6.5 feet tail, included drifts like a ghost through the Luangwa woodland. Absolute silence is its weapon, and solitude is a strategy refined to sheer perfection. Its coat, adorned with rosette spots that are never identical between two individuals, provides a nearly invisible cloak within the dappled forest light. When darkness falls, the leopard reigns, supreme eyes, equipped with a tapetum lucidum, reflect light, granting vision 6 to 8 times sharper than a human's. Nighttime means blindness for others, but for the magnificent leopard, it is an absolute invisibility cloak. When the perfect moment arrives, the prey turns its back, the wind blows favorably, and the distance closes to mere steps. The leopard erupts at a staggering 36 miles per hour. The ambush is over in less than 2 seconds, and immediately the kill is hoisted into a tree to thwart hyenas, lions, and scavengers. Immense jaw and neck strength allow the leopard to drag prey twice its own weight high into the branches, a feat unmatched by any other big cat. Yet solitary efficiency has its limits, and those limits boldly take the shape of baboons. When a leopard hunts a baboon, the battle is never simple, for baboons fiercely counterattack with mob strategy. Dozens swarm together, screaming, baring teeth, hurling stones, a multi-generational clash between a lone assassin and an organized, furious army. This is living proof of two opposing paths of intellect. The lion embraces pack hunting and evolves, the leopard chooses solitude and perfects it to the maximum. Every form of intelligence carries a cost, and each holds limits the other cannot reach. But the ultimate final test still awaits ahead. But lions are not the only species to prove that teamwork eclipses solitary strength and further afield. Another creature has elevated coordination into an absolute art. The African wild dog, the sole member of the Lycaon genus, bearing 4 toes per foot instead of 5 like all other canines. Packs range from 6 to 20 members, yet they do not operate under the rule of the strongest. Every pup is fiercely protected and raised by the entire pack, regardless of bloodline. Injured members have food brought directly to them by pack mates, a welfare system no primate society can easily rival. They communicate via intricate body language and low-frequency vocalizations, maintaining absolute silence as they close in on targets without a single howl. The pursuit is not a solo endeavor, but a magnificent symphony of specialized roles, the sprinting vanguard and the flanking interceptors. And the most striking difference: females disperse when they mature, not the males, a complete reversal of almost every other mammalian norm. Their mottled coats, a random splash of gold, black and white, are completely unique to each individual. Every wild dog bears an exclusive identity. But their ultimate weapon lies in communication. They cast votes by sneezing before a hunt, and only when a quorum is reached does the pack strike. An innate democracy, not a byproduct of civilization, but of 40 million years of evolution. Their hunting success rate soars to 80% compared to a mere 25% for lions. They hit speeds of 41 miles per hour, not in short bursts, but in sustained endurance until the prey utterly collapses. They kill not with brute force, but through relentless coordination, taking turns chasing, corralling, and pressing until the target cannot take another step. Yet, this flawless species teeters on the brink. Only about 6,600 mature individuals remain across all of Africa. Of those, fewer than 1,400 are capable of breeding, classified as endangered by the IUCN. With every lost pack, we lose more than a few dozen individuals. We burn down a tactical library crafted over 40 million years. Teamwork triumphs over brute force, but even perfect coordination cannot combat the shrinking habitats caused by encroaching human hands. Returning to South Luangwa, where the Luangwa River flows free, unbroken by a single dam, the wetlands expand under 27 to 47 inches of annual rain. Beneath the murky surface, a shadow rests motionless, only its piercing eyes and nostrils breaching the water. The Nile crocodile, reaching nearly 20 feet long, weighing over 1,500 pounds, possessing an estimated bite force of 22,000 newtons. Yet, that number is not its most terrifying attribute. The true terror lies in its absolute patience. A crocodile can lie dormant for hours, even days, awaiting the exact moment prey steps into striking range, a lesson the young lions starved to learn. But the life cycle of an apex predator does not begin solely with the hunt. A mother crocodile guards her nest for months, shielding the next generation from countless terrestrial threats. Mere yards away, another creature proves that evolutionary logic sometimes defies all our imagination. The hippopotamus, seemingly bound to the land, is actually the closest living relative of whales and dolphins, sharing a common ancestor 55 million years ago. And the strangest fact, hippos cannot swim. They walk along the riverbed, bouncing, stepping, and gliding underwater, utilizing their immense body weight. A pinkish secretion coating their body's hipposudoric acid acts as both a natural sunscreen and a potent antibiotic, shielding them from bacteria in the murky water. Every night, hippos venture ashore to consume nearly 90 pounds of grass, returning to the water right before dawn. Paradoxical adaptation, a marine descendant choosing the river, a non-swimmer living submerged. This, too, is a form of intelligence authored over 55 million years. But all forms of intellect, no matter how extraordinary, now face an existential threat they never evolved to combat. Lions, only about 25,000 individuals remain across Africa, a devastating 43% decline in just 3 generations. Elephants, roughly 415,000, left plummeting 30% in the last 2 decades. Every poached tusk eradicates a 60-year library of memory. African wild dogs, 6,600 adults, fewer than 1,400 capable of breeding every lost pack, permanently dissolves a 40-million-year-old democracy. Africa, where every dawn carries life and every dusk drags death behind it. Here, the sun does not merely shine, it judges. Each ray of light exposes who will survive the night and who will never see tomorrow's sunrise. The savanna stretches without end, from the red sands of the Kalahari to the golden grasslands of the Serengeti, from the dwindling rivers of Botswana to the vast Okavango Delta. And across this land, An ancient question has echoed through millions of years of evolution. Who is the true king of the Savanna? Is it the one who roars the loudest, the fastest, the strongest? Or does the true king wear no crown at all, but carry within itself something far more powerful? Fear. Because in Africa, fear is not a weakness. Fear is a compass, a teacher, a weapon. Predators fear failure, for a single missed strike could be their last meal. Prey fear death. For every wrong step offers no second chance. Herds fear dissolution, for to stand alone on the Savanna is a death sentence without trial. Welcome to Nature's Moments, where we explore the most extraordinary mysteries of the natural world. To find the answer, we will journey through 5 lands, 5 arenas, where fear reaches its peak and reveals the true nature of every species. From the unforgiving Kalahari Desert, across the boundless Serengeti grasslands, along the parched Boteti River, to the wild fortress of Zakuma, and finally, the flooded paradise of the Okavango Delta. Each stop is a test. Each species must confront its own fear, and how they respond will determine who deserves to sit upon the throne of the Savanna. The first answer does not lie in crowded places. It hides within the brutal solitude of the Kalahari Desert, where speed is everything and time is an enemy that cannot be defeated. In this place, life needs no invitation. It arrives on its own, carried by speed. A pale golden shape appears on the horizon, body pressed flat against the ground, eyes locked onto a target more than 300 feet away. The cheetah, the most perfect speed machine that 40 million years of natural selection ever sculpted, a predator built for one explosive act. "70 miles per hour. From standstill to top speed in under 3 seconds, faster than most supercars on the planet." A spine that curves like a coiled spring, non-retractable claws gripping the earth like sprinting spikes, and a long tail serving as a rudder at blistering velocity. Every muscle fiber in the cheetah's body is engineered for a single purpose: acceleration. But speed comes at a terrible price. "20 to 30 seconds. That is all the time its fast twitch muscles allow before energy reserves are utterly spent. Not overheating, scorching the body from within, as scientists once believed, but the hard physical limit of every fast twitch fiber burning through its fuel reserves. If the prey is still running after half a minute, the cheetah loses. Not just the chase, its life. And today's prey is no easy catch. A scimitar-horned oryx stands there, horns over 3 feet long, sweeping skyward like two ancient swords. The scimitar-horned oryx is not as fast as the cheetah, but it does not need to be. Inside the skull of this antelope lies an evolutionary marvel that modern engineers would envy. A carotid rete, a dense network of microscopic blood vessels that cool arterial blood before it reaches the brain. The body temperature of a scimitar-horned oryx can climb to 113 degrees Fahrenheit, a threshold that would cause permanent brain damage in most mammals. Yet its brain remains cool, remains alert, remains calculating. When cornered, the scimitar-horned oryx does not keep running. It turns around, horns aimed directly at its attacker. There are documented cases of lions impaled through the chest by scimitar-horned oryx horns. The hunter becomes the victim in a single thrust. This is the Savanna's first lesson. Speed does not decide everything. The one who fears running out of time faces the one who knows no fear at all. The cheetah must choose, strike fast and gamble with its life, or walk away and endure another day of hunger. The fear of the savanna's fastest creature is not meeting something stronger, it is the countdown ticking inside its own body. But the fear of time does not belong to the cheetah alone. More than 1,000 miles to the east of the Kalahari, on the grasslands of the Serengeti, a new generation faces a fear far more ancient, the fear of failing for the very first time. The Serengeti, 12,000 square miles of grassland and open woodland stretching between Tanzania and Kenya, home to the greatest concentration of large mammals on the planet, Africa's grandest arena. At the edge of an acacia thicket, 4 5-month-old lion cubs watch their mother. Golden eyes wide open, ears pricked forward, every movement committed to memory. Lion cubs are not born knowing how to hunt. They must learn, and the first lesson begins at 5 months of age. The lioness is the teacher. Within the pride, it is the females lighter, faster, more agile who carry out nearly 90% of all hunts. The males, larger and heavier, await their share of the spoils. But even the teacher is far from perfect. A single lioness hunting alone succeeds less than 19% of the time, far below the 30% success rate achieved when the group coordinates. £13 of meat per day for each female, £20 for each male. That is the bare minimum to sustain life. And the Serengeti does not hand out free meals. Today, a lone wildebeest has strayed from the herd. The lioness drops low, belly nearly brushing the earth, advancing in absolute silence. Her 4 cubs follow behind, attempting to mimic her, but their clumsy frames send dry grass crackling underfoot. The lunge fails. The wildebeest bolts and vanishes into the herd in an instant. Failure. The first lesson, and certainly not the last. Young males will leave the pride between the ages of 2 and 3, wandering alone or forging coalitions with brothers, biding their time until the day they are strong enough to challenge a reigning male for control of a pride. Young females stay behind, becoming the primary hunters, feeding the entire family through each dry season. Each cub carries a different fear. The males fear solitude on the open savanna. The females fear not being skilled enough to keep the pride alive through the night. Yet despite their fear, instinct drives them forward, because on the Serengeti, the one who hesitates is the one who starves. And even the prince of the savannah must learn a lesson in humility, especially when the opponent is not soft prey, but a living legend weighing nearly 2,200 pounds. A beast bearing a name that makes even lions shudder, the Black Death. The African buffalo is a beast responsible for more human fatalities than any other large animal on the continent. Nearly 2,000 pounds of solid muscle compressed into a frame that is virtually impenetrable. Atop the skull of every mature bull, 2 curved horns fuse at the base to form a bony shield known as the boss. This formidable layer of cranial armor reaches full development when the male is between 8 and 9 years of age. This horn shield is so thick that rifle bullets have been known to ricochet off it. Lions that bite down on a buffalo's skull risk shattering their own teeth. But the true power of the African buffalo does not lie in the individual, it lies in the herd. When a single member is attacked, the entire herd hundreds strong wheels around. They form a defensive wall, horns facing outward, and charge directly into the lion pride. The predator becomes the prey. The lions must flee or be trampled beneath hundreds of hooves. This is the fear lions never acknowledge, that their prey can defeat the king. African buffalo do not spread fear with a roar. They spread it with silence and with the ground trembling as the entire herd wheels around to counterattack. On the Savanna, the throne does not belong to the attacker. Sometimes it belongs to the one who knows when to fight back. But in another land, fear does not come from horns or fangs. Fear comes from within the herd itself, where the greatest enemy may be one's own kind. Botswana, a dry season lasting 6 punishing months, transforms lush green pastures into cracked, barren plains, and every living creature turns desperately toward a single place. The Boteti River, the last lifeline of a land dying of thirst. The plains zebra, a species in which every individual wears a set of stripes as unique and unrepeatable as a human fingerprint. A stallion weighing more than 660 pounds of lean muscle stands guard at the edge of the herd. His harem of 2 to 6 mares drinks cautiously at the riverbank. But the threat does not come from beneath the water. In the shadows of a thicket less than 50 feet away, 3 lionesses lie motionless. Claws over an inch long, fully retracted within soft, fleshy sheaths, ready to deploy in under 1/10 of a second. The lionesses hunt in absolute silence. No roar. No heavy breathing, only the cold patience of killers who have waited for hours. The moment of the attack, the zebra herd erupts into panic, black and white stripes swirling into a dizzying visual maze, a phenomenon called motion dazzle that robs the lions of a clear target. A foal separates from its mother. The lioness redirects. But the stallion charges in. More than 660 pounds of muscle slam into the lioness's flank, enough force to drive the predator backward. The herd escapes. This time, but zebras are not always so fortunate. And the deadliest threats do not always come from enemies outside the herd. When a new stallion defeats the old king and seizes the herd, His first act is not to mate, but to kill. Infanticide. The new king kills the foals of the old king, forcing the mares back into estrus, ensuring the next generation carries the genes of the victor. Science has documented this behavior, though it does not occur in every population. But where it does, zebra mares face an unthinkable choice: accept the loss of their young, or fight back against an opponent many times their strength. Some mares choose to fight. They bite, kick, and shield their foals with their own bodies. The fear of losing one's young, perhaps the most primal fear in the entire animal kingdom. And then the rains arrive. The zebra herds begin their annual migration. Thousands of individuals pressing southward, crossing the Boteti River, where Nile crocodiles lurk beneath the murky water, and the swift, unpredictable current can sweep away foals and full-grown adults alike. Every step into the river is a gamble. Every zebra descending into the water knows that not all of them will reach the far bank. Yet they go, because to stay behind means dying of thirst, and the fear of thirst is greater than the fear of being dragged to the bottom of a river. Amid the countless primal fears of the savanna, fear of death, fear of losing one's young, fear of losing one's throne, one species has chosen a different path entirely. They have transformed fear itself into a system of power, where the one who spreads terror is not a king, but a queen. The spotted hyena, perhaps the most misunderstood creature in all of Africa, they are still called scavengers, cowards who lurk in the shadows and steal the kills of others. But the truth is the exact opposite. More than 60% of the spotted hyena's diet comes from prey. They hunt themselves an active hunting rate that surpasses even that of the lion. Their society is a true matriarchal empire, where females rule with absolute authority and iron discipline. A hyena clan can swell to as many as 80 members, and the alpha female wields absolute power from the division of every meal to the determination of which individuals are permitted to mate. That power is determined from the very moment of birth. Hyena cubs are born with their eyes open, armed with sharp jaws ready for combat. And their first battle is not against an outside enemy, but against their own siblings. The concept of siblicide is documented by science as a ruthless survival strategy. Stronger cubs will kill weaker siblings inside the den to monopolize their mother's milk. Here, the greatest fear does not come from the outside, it comes from those who share the same blood. With a body weighing up to 176 pounds and a jaw generating over 990 pounds of crushing force, the spotted hyena possesses nature's most efficient recycling apparatus. That bite is enough to splinter the femur of a full-grown African buffalo. Bones, horns, hooves, nothing survives a hyena's jaws. Tonight, the clan is hungry. As the pack moves, the ground seems to tremble beneath the footsteps of dozens of individuals. The eerie sound that people call laughter is, in reality, a battle cry, a rallying call for war. Their target is a young elephant calf, separated from its mother, a feast weighing nearly 3 tons of fresh meat. They arrange themselves in a crescent formation, the alpha female leading, eyes fixed on the prey. But the panicked cries of the calf reach its mother's ears. And no hyena clan, no matter how numerous, dares confront the full fury of a female elephant weighing nearly 4 tons. The clan withdraws in silence, not out of cowardice, but because they understand their own limits. This is the true portrait of the spotted hyena, a hunter more accomplished than the lion, yet wise enough to know when to stop. The stigma of being labeled a scavenger has trailed them since the dawn of time. But perhaps the deepest fear of this queen of darkness is the fear of overreaching, for to attack a mother elephant is to challenge a force far greater than the clan itself. If you too are captivated by the contest for the Savannah's crown, share your thoughts with Nature's Moments in the comments. In your view, who is the true king? Africa, a land of giants. Among the rulers of the Savanna, from buffalo weighing nearly a ton to hyenas with their bone-crushing jaws, only one roar commands the silence of all living things. The roar of the lion, the king of the grasslands. Yet in a cruel twist of irony, this very king now faces the greatest fear in its entire evolutionary history, the threat of vanishing forever. The African lion, the second largest cat on Earth after the Bengal tiger, is a flawless hunting machine. A body of nearly 550 pounds of raw muscle, stretching close to 10 feet from nose to tail tip. A roar that carries across 5 miles of open grassland, a thunderous declaration of authority that freezes every creature within earshot. They live in prides of 3 to 40 individuals, where roles are divided with a precision honed by millions of years of evolution. Females hunt, males defend the territory. When that machine runs smoothly, the lion is an unchallenged force. Yet behind that regal exterior, the crown is cracking. Even their very symbol of power, the magnificent mane, conceals a different story. On the Serengeti grasslands, the thicker and darker the mane, the greater the proof of a male's health and status. But just a few hundred miles to the southeast, in Kenya's Tsavo region, a stark truth emerges. Tsavo lions have no mans. This is not a sign of weakness, it is an adaptation for survival. In the searing heat of Tsavo, a thick mane is nothing but a burden. Evolution stripped the crown away to keep the king alive. But the most pressing question is not about appearance, it is about existence itself. Only around 23,000 lions remain in the wild across all of Africa, a staggering decline of more than 40% in just 2 decades, a collapse in numbers that biologists describe as catastrophic. Though the Asiatic lion population in India is showing encouraging signs of recovery, that glimmer of hope remains profoundly fragile against four blades aimed directly at the throne. Habitat loss, human-wildlife conflict, poaching, and dwindling prey populations. The greatest fear of the king of beasts is not the buffalo or the hyena. The greatest fear is extinction. And to understand that fear more deeply, to witness a throne teetering on the edge of collapse, one must leave the Serengeti and fly west to an isolated fortress in the heart of Chad. In 1963, amid the arid savanna of eastern Chad, the country's first national park was born, Zakuma. A green island in an ocean of sand, where life concentrates so densely it seems as though nature has poured its last reserves into a single wager. And in that wager, one species stands on the brink, the Kordofan giraffe. Fewer than 2,000 individuals remain on the entire planet. More than half of them live right here in Zakuma. This is a subspecies classified as critically endangered on the IUCN Red List. Standing 15 to 18 feet tall, shorter than their cousins in East and Southern Africa, yet still the tallest creatures walking on land. A tongue nearly 18 inches long, dark and tough as cured leather, wrapping around thorny acacia branches without a scratch. But the true marvel lies in the heart. Weighing roughly 24 pounds, the largest heart of any terrestrial mammal, it generates blood pressure, double that of a human, approximately 300 millimeters of mercury, simply to pump blood up a neck stretching more than 6 feet. And it is precisely this that transforms the simplest of acts, drinking water, into the most dangerous moment of the day. When a giraffe splays its front legs wide and lowers its head to the water's surface, blood pressure shifts abruptly. A system of one-way valves in the jugular veins prevents blood from flooding the brain, yet the body remains dangerously off balance. In that posture, the giraffe is virtually helpless. 15 months of gestation for a single calf per birth. Every individual lost is a blow to the entire subspecies. The fear of extinction here is no abstract concept. It lives in every giraffe, lowering its head to drink, knowing that its most vulnerable moment may also be its last. Alongside these long-necked giants, Zakuma shelters a smaller creature, no less eccentric. The African warthog, with 4 curving tusks and a habit of kneeling on its front legs to eat wrists calloused from millions of landings. Active, mainly in the early morning and late afternoon, retreating into burrows borrowed from aardvarks when the midday sun blazes overhead. Nearly half of its daylight hours are devoted to foraging. Small, awkward, yet enduring living proof that on the Savanna one need not be mighty to persist. And then there is the West African lion, a version entirely unlike the giants of the Serengeti. Smaller, 260 to 330 pounds for the males. Sparse manes, leaner frames, as though the desert has stripped away every excess. Small prides of 3 to 6 individuals, lacking the numbers for large-scale ambush tactics. Instead, they hunt under cover of darkness, and at dawn, when prey lose the advantage of sight. Recent genetic research has revealed a remarkable and unexpected finding. Zakuma's lions carry intermediate genetic markers, placing them closer to the Asiatic lion of India's Gir forest than to the East African lions roaming the same continent. The king here is a solitary, diminished king fighting not for a throne, but for the right to exist. But Zakuma is not merely a fortress for lions and giraffes. In the skies above, a silent army keeps the entire ecosystem from collapse. The white-backed vulture, with a wingspan reaching 7.5 feet, soaring for hours on thermal columns with scarcely a single wing beat. The world calls them carrion eaters, but the more accurate title is ecological sanitation crew. The vulture's digestive system produces acid powerful enough to neutralize anthrax bacteria, a pathogen lethal to most mammals. Every carcass processed by vultures is a potential disease outbreak neutralized. Without vultures, the savanna would rot. Disease would spread unchecked. The ecosystem would collapse from within. King? Vultures never claim the title. But if they vanish, there will be no kingdom left to fight over. And then there is the Sitatunga, the phantom of the Okavango. Fur coated in water-repellent oil, hooves splayed wide, in a unique adaptation to mud and marshland. The Sitatunga is the only antelope in Africa capable of submerging completely underwater, leaving only its nostrils exposed to breathe. When a predator approaches, the Sitatunga does not run. It sinks, vanishing into the swamp as though it had never existed. Here, fear does not become flight, it becomes disappearance. And the impala, perhaps the most complete athlete on the savanna. Leaping nearly 10 feet high and more than 30 feet across. Each bound is a flawless equation of thrust, trajectory, and gravity. Eyes perpetually vigilant, ears rotating 360 degrees, nerves reacting in thousandths of a second. The impala is not a king, but the impala does not need to be. It only needs to survive one more day, and tomorrow repeat. Every species in the Okavango has found its own way to endure, not through strength, not through fang or claw, but through adaptation. Through understanding exactly where it stands in the food chain and accepting that truth. No one is king in the Okavango, only those who know where they belong. And so, the question returns, who is the true king of the savanna? The cheetah, the fastest, yet granted only 20 seconds before its own body betrays it. The scimitar-horned oryx, the bravest yet swords, cannot save the entire herd. The African buffalo, the strongest yet a single straggler from the herd, is a dead one. The zebra, the most resilient, yet paying in blood at every river crossing. The spotted hyena, the most cunning, yet even the queen of darkness must bow before the elephant. The lion, the most majestic, yet this self-proclaimed king, is counting down the days to extinction. No one is king. Because the African Savanna has no throne, no crown, no dynasty that lasts forever. There is only the cycle. Blood spills onto the red earth and feeds the roots of the grass. The grass feeds the antelope feeds the lion. And when the lion dies, its body returns to the soil, and the grass grows once more. A land of mesmerizing extremes, where the delicate boundary between life and death is but a single breath apart. Beneath the searing heat of the African sun, every creature is driven towards the last river, the only source of life in this arid landscape. As dusk falls, this beautiful valley transforms into a brutal arena, hosting the life and death duels of its predators. Here, nature offers no dense forests for shelter or concealment. Instead, there are only dunes of fiery red sand and an all-encompassing harshness that tests the will of every species. And yet, by some miracle, life always finds a way to conquer this unforgiving land. This is the domain of lions, the most formidable and majestic beasts of the Dark Continent. But at this moment, fortune has turned its back on them. Recent arduous hunts have all ended in bitter failure. Hunger gnaws at every muscle, etching a deep sorrow in their blazing amber eyes. Every heavy breath they take is a desperate, heart-wrenching sigh. On the far horizon, a herd of impala cautiously approaches the river. It is a burning thirst that has pushed them to the very edge of recklessness. A chance wind blowing from the river has completely masked the scent of the predators hiding in the bush. The herd continues its advance, utterly unaware of the death that lies in wait. In the shadows, the lion's muscles coil, tensed like lethal springs ready to be unleashed. The pride bursts forth like a violent storm, kicking up a blinding cloud of dust across the savanna. The impala, in a state of sheer panic, flee with the purest instinct of fear. The fate of one is sealed in the briefest of stumbles. Fangs and claws sink into prey amidst the snarls and panting breaths that mingle with the red dust rising like smoke from a battlefield. A precious prize won with blood and the hunter's utter exhaustion. But this small meal is not nearly enough to fill the bellies of a starving pride. Even the vultures, the most patient spectators of this tragedy, will not receive a single share. They can only circle silently overhead, carrying their hunger and tireless vigilance into the fading twilight. But lions are not the only inhabitants fighting for survival in this harsh land. As the sun begins to set, the suffocating heat finally gives way to a cool breeze, and the savanna awakens from a long, forced slumber. From the safety of their burrows deep underground, warthogs emerge one by one. They move with caution, seeking out the rare mud wallows that remain in the dry basin. Here they meet their distant relatives, the colossal hippos, already submerged in the murky water. Both creatures share a crucial evolutionary trait. They have no sweat glands. In the merciless African heat, this is a potentially fatal shortcoming, were it not for their ingenious solutions. And that solution is this thick, cooling mud. The mud not only keeps their bodies cool far longer than water alone, but it also acts as a protective shield, preventing the harsh sun from scorching their delicate skin. As sunset begins to stain the sky red, many other creatures make their way to the precious pools of water. A flock of great white pelicans soars on the thermals rising from the earth, creating a truly spectacular sight. They are drawn to the dwindling lagoons, one of the few remaining water sources in the lion's territory. When their body temperature gets too high, pelicans perform a remarkable action. They flutter the gular pouch beneath their bill. It is a simple yet wonderfully effective system of evaporative cooling. In the shade of the nearby woodlands, dusk also awakens more secretive and timid creatures. A herd of greater kudu, with their magnificent spiral horns, emerges after a long day of foraging. They head towards the waterhole to quench a gnawing thirst. However, in this wild world, to leave cover is to accept a deadly risk. For the starving lions, a kudu is a perfect and substantial target. Suddenly, the lead bull freezes, his ears swiveling to catch the faintest sound. A single dry twig snapping under a predator's paw, or a strange current of air carrying the scent of death, is all it takes. The entire herd turns as one, vanishing into the forest shadows like phantoms. The predator has been detected, and a painstaking hunt is over before it has even begun. Meanwhile, the atmosphere at the waterhole grows ever more lively and animated. The giant marabou storks now join the pelicans. With their bizarre bald heads and scruffy plumage, they are often called the diligent undertakers of the African sky. But marabous are more than mere scavengers. When the water level in the lagoon is low, they wade directly into the mire to find their own food. Immediately, pelicans and yellow-billed storks follow, creating a rhythmic, coordinated campaign of stirring up the water. The yellow-billed stork uses its sensitive, slightly open bill to feel for the slightest vibration of prey in the mud below. As the sun sinks completely below the horizon, the Savanna is set ablaze in a deep, majestic crimson. Another day of life and death in Zambia has finally drawn to a close. It is this relentless, challenging cycle that has kept this land eternal for millions of years. Leaving the bustling lagoons, we travel to the heart of the Great Plains, the domain of the African buffalo, the true, untamable giants of the Savanna. Behold their majesty. A mature adult can weigh between 1,100 and nearly 2,000 pounds. But the largest bulls, true living tanks, can exceed the astonishing mark of over a ton. Atop their heads is a masterpiece of evolution, a colossal set of horns fused at the center into what scientists call a boss. This natural armor is up to 4 inches thick and as hard as rock, a perfect shield for the skull. And when needed, it becomes a terrifying weapon, capable of delivering a blow with enough force to shatter the bones of any enemy that dares to confront it. Buffalo are never alone. They depend on one another in herds of dozens to hundreds, bound together by the instinct to survive. Within the herd, unity is the ultimate strength, but there is no shortage of dramatic struggles for power. Under the harsh midday sun, two bulls clash, the crack of their horns like thunder in a clear sky. Each charge carries the weight of a sledgehammer, but this fight is about more than just dominance. It is a ruthless selection process, ensuring that only the strongest and most resilient will earn the right to lead the herd through the punishing dry season. And in the midst of these violent displays of power, life quietly, miraculously finds a way to blossom. After a grueling pregnancy of nearly 11 months, a new life has been born. It is extraordinary that just minutes after birth, the calf is already trembling, trying to stand on its own weak legs. This is its first lesson, a mandatory rite of passage in the endless war for survival it has just joined. As dawn breaks on the horizon, the herd grazes peacefully, unwittingly acting as engineers of the Savanna. By consuming the older, tougher grasses, they manage the vegetation and create space for fresh, new shoots to grow. Thanks to their presence, many other species also benefit from this renewed source of food. However, the buffalo's role in the ecosystem is more complex. They are a vital source of food for lions. But few animals are like the African buffalo, a prey that offers abundant protein, yet possesses the power to kill its own hunter. In the nearby shadows, a pride of lions is stalking patiently, their eyes locked on the herd's every move. In a flash, the moment arrives. The predators strike a buffalo that has strayed from the herd. The vulnerable animal becomes a feast for the hunters. One life falls so that another may be renewed. The Savanna has no compassion, only the unforgiving law of survival. In nature's great game, death is the price of balance. We leave the river valleys of Zambia for the vast plains of the Serengeti, where a story of succession is being written in the silence of the wilderness. In a secluded corner of the woodland, hidden in the shade of acacia trees, a lioness lies exhausted after a difficult birth. Beside her, new lives are stirring helpless cubs, their eyes still sealed against the harsh world outside. Look closely at their fur. Those soft little spots are not just a mark of innocence, but perfect camouflage, helping them to dissolve into the dappled sunlight and thick grass. During this fragile stage, the lioness has made a strategic decision to separate from her pride and raise her cubs alone. It is a necessary exile, an effort to protect her young from opportunistic predators and the unpredictable brutality of the pride's own males. But in the world of the Serengeti, safety is only a temporary illusion. Not far from the den, a hyena has caught the scent of vulnerability and begins to approach with dark intentions. It hopes for an easy meal, but it has forgotten one of nature's eternal truths. A mother's instinct is a weapon more fearsome than any claw or fang. The instant the intruder pokes its head through the bushes, the lioness charges with terrifying speed and unstoppable force. Her roar echoes through the woods, a defiant message that sends the hyena fleeing in abject terror. This is the first lesson in survival, a baptism by sound and fury for her vulnerable young. The Serengeti has never and will never tolerate a moment's lapse in vigilance. During these first challenging weeks, the lioness rarely leaves her cub's side. Every rustle of dry leaves, every shift in the wind is registered with the highest state of alert. When the cubs are old enough, the pride will become not just a sanctuary, but their first school for mastering the Savanna. Here, they learn to recognize the language of their own kind, to listen for distant roars, and to understand the signals that mark their territory. On a brilliant morning, an unexpected opportunity for practice arises when a herd of young Thompson's gazelles wanders near the resting pride. The adult lions immediately fan out, forming a sophisticated and flawless ambush. Driven by instinctual curiosity, one of the cubs quietly follows its mother to join the great game. But its clumsy paws accidentally step on a dry twig, creating a small snap in the silence. That single mistake is enough. The gazelles bolt in a panic, and the hunt ends in failure. In the human world, it might be seen as a mistake, but the lioness does not punish her child. She gently nudges the cub back into the circle of safety, for nature is the most patient of all teachers. Patience is the key to survival, a virtue that every inhabitant of this wild world must learn to its core. Time passes quickly in the Serengeti, and the fragile cubs of yesterday have now truly come of age. Their roar is no longer a juvenile cry, but a powerful challenge that shakes the very air. In this great land, every creature is diligently writing its own unique story of survival. And as the final roar echoes in the Serengeti sunset, it affirms a spirit of the lion that will endure for 1,000 years to come. Let us lift our gaze beyond the dry thorn bushes to admire a true icon of pride and power on the African savanna. The giraffe stands like a living tower, majestic against a sea of grass, an unmistakable image of this continent. A fully grown adult can reach the astonishing height of nearly 20 feet, with a graceful yet powerful neck measuring over 6 feet long. But this elegant and serene appearance conceals an incredibly sophisticated machine within its enormous body. To sustain life at such an extraordinary height, nature has equipped it with a massive heart weighing up to 26 pounds. This heart works tirelessly, pumping blood all the way to its head to nourish the brain, defying the constant pull of gravity. And something truly miraculous happens when this towering creature bends down to drink. A special system of valves deep within its neck automatically regulates blood pressure with absolute precision. This mechanism ensures it does not faint or suffer brain damage from the sudden shift in blood flow as it changes posture. When the first rains of the season arrive, reviving the vast savanna, a new chapter in the life of the giraffe begins. The mating season brings with it fierce and dramatic battles between males for the right to pass on their genes. Their weapons are not sharp fangs or claws, but their long, muscular necks and sturdy horns. Two giants face off, swinging their powerful necks to crash against each other, the sound echoing like dry thunder across the plains. This is a contest of pure strength and incredible endurance, sometimes lasting for hours under the relentless sun. The weaker male will eventually submit, yielding the ultimate prize to the strongest and most resilient. After the battle ends, life continues its quiet course with the female's arduous 15-month pregnancy. And then, the most sacred and anticipated moment arrives in the stillness of nature. A giraffe calf is born through a unique and somewhat harsh ritual, a free fall of over 6 feet to the ground. This seemingly dangerous fall is in fact a powerful alarm clock, instantly awakening the survival instincts within the tiny creature. Miraculously, just a few hours after entering the world, its small legs are steady enough to stumble after its mother. But peace on the savanna is never easily won. Dawn is just breaking, painting the vast African savanna in hues of pink, where a herd of Thompson's gazelles is peacefully grazing on dewy grass. These small yet proud creatures are a symbol of resilient life, always thriving in a land fraught with peril. They possess a remarkable and effective shield for survival, an extraordinary speed that can exceed 50 miles per hour. In this harsh wilderness, speed is not merely an ability. It is the strongest shield that protects life itself. But this pure tranquility is often fragile, capable of vanishing in the blink of an eye with the shifting moods of nature. In the shade of the dry bushes, a pair of amber eyes is watching silently, missing no movement from the herd. It is the cheetah, the swiftest and most cunning predator on these immense plains. It lies motionless, demonstrating incredible patience as it waits for the perfect moment to strike. The hunter's cold gaze sweeps across the herd, analyzing each individual, searching for the smallest opening. And then, an incautious young gazelle strays from the herd's protection, instantly becoming the fatal target in the predator's mind. The hunter begins its approach with masterful skill, each step as light and silent as a breeze through the dry grass. The distance between hunter and prey shrinks, now only about 100 yards. The moment of truth is at hand. Suddenly, a gazelle in the herd spots the danger, and the entire group scatters in a panicked frenzy. For the cheetah, this is the signal to begin the race for life. It explodes forward, a living arrow tearing across the savanna. A sudden, perfectly precise pounce is launched, followed by a short, sharp cry that fades into the silence. The hunt is over in an instant, and victory once again belongs to the hunter, a necessary part of the unforgiving cycle of life and death. The cheetah sits panting after its phenomenal effort, driven by instinct to begin its meal immediately and recover its spent energy. It begins to tear at the fresh meat, the vital fuel that will restore its strength after the high-speed chase. But even as it enjoys its prize, its ears never stop swiveling, scanning for any sound in its surroundings. A single moment of carelessness, and the prize it just won with all its might could easily be lost to other opportunistic predators. As the sun climbs higher, the remaining Thompson's gazelles slowly regain their composure and begin to move towards the Mara River. They carry with them the shadow of the death they have just witnessed, but also a harsh lesson in survival. Before them lies the Mara River, its deep blue water shimmering under the intense sun. The herd approaches the bank cautiously, lowering their heads to drink, but their eyes never cease to scan the rippling surface. This river is not only a precious source of life, but also a hiding place for lethal dangers lurking beneath the water. Suddenly, the water stirs, and from a distance, the shadowy form of a huge crocodile materializes on the surface. This silent hunter slowly submerges, vanishing completely into the dark water to prepare for a deadly ambush. The herd is on high alert for a moment, but then their burning thirst overcomes their fear of the hidden threat. This rare moment of peace is a just reward for their unceasing vigilance in the wild. And so the Savannah continues its endless rhythm, a place where the cycle of life and death never pauses in the great wilderness. Every creature here understands that to see tomorrow's dawn, they must constantly push against their own limits. In that very harshness, the beauty of creation shines most brightly, like an epic hymn to the eternal will to survive. Beneath the fierce African sun, giant dark shapes circle silently in the vast sky. They are not proud hunters, nor are they the majestic lords of the Savannah. But with extraordinary patience and a unique instinct, they have become the silent guardians of nature's purity. They are the vultures, the tireless and essential cleanup crew of the wild. With enormous wingspans of up to 10 feet, their keen eyes can spot the smallest detail from miles above. From the horizon, a pack of hyenas is approaching the most formidable opportunists of the Savannah. Their chilling laughter echoes across the plains, revealing steel-trapped jaws ready to crush anything in their path. The scene descends into chaos as giant wings beat frantically, kicking dust and dry grass into the air. A few stubborn vultures hold their ground, trying to snatch the last scraps of meat from within the enemy's circle. Red dust, snarling and flapping wings create a brutal yet calculated symphony of nature. In the midst of this chaos, a universal law becomes clear. Nothing is ever wasted. Every member, from the hyenas to the smallest insects, is an indispensable link in the chain of life. The zebra's carcass does not simply disappear. It is being transformed into new life, into fertile soil for future seasons of green. As the sun begins to set, the great wings rise once more, silently melting into the distant horizon. Night falls, blanketing the world, but nature does not sleep. In the darkness, gleaming eyes reflect the moonlight as a pride of lions emerges for a new hunt. In the distance, a herd of elephants slowly approaches a watering hole, the sound of the water a primal melody of the wild. Amidst this vortex of life and death, the vultures continue to soar silently overhead. They do not bring death, but continuation, ensuring that the great wheel of life in Africa never stops turning. On the immense grasslands of the Savanna, lions manifest as masters of concealment. With their powerful bodies and sandy-colored coats, they are easily camouflaged in the dry grass. The male lion is distinguished by his majestic mane, both a symbol of power and a layer of protection in battle. The lioness, with her sleeker and more agile form, often plays the primary role in the hunt. They are master strategists. The foundation of the pride is a steadfast alliance of related lionesses. Meanwhile, the dominant males, with their superior strength, assume the role of protectors, shielding the territory and the pride's future from intruders. Lionesses are responsible for hunting and raising the next generation. They often hunt in coordinated groups to bring down large prey like buffalo. This time, their quarry is a moving herd of buffalo. The pride moves silently through the scorched grass, every gaze fixed on the target. A buffalo unwittingly separates from the herd. Instantly, the attack begins. The lions face fierce resistance. But the strength of one is no match for the power of many. Today, the buffalo has become a feast for the pride. As the heavy footsteps of the buffalo herd pass, the savanna reveals a different rhythm of life, gentler yet ever vigilant. The African elephant, a symbol of absolute power. Their bodies are like moving boulders, with the largest males reaching heights of up to 13 feet and weighing over 6 tons. Their thick skin is like a suit of armor, and their curved tusks are both tools and a statement of status. Elephants typically live in herds led by an older, experienced female. They share an incredibly strong bond, collectively protecting their young and sharing memories of fertile lands. at a distant lake on the African Savanna. It is the cheetah, the king of speed on this savanna. She and her cubs have been without food for 2 days. Today, the mother cheetah has seen a glimmer of hope. If she cannot bring back food, her cubs will starve to death. When the Thompson's gazelles finish drinking, the leader guides the herd to graze. The cheetah takes advantage of the moment when no prey is watching to draw closer. A gazelle startles, and the entire grassland shifts. The chase begins. In a moment of life and death, an unlucky gazelle has fallen. The cheetah's cubs have been saved. This is the unforgiving law of the great savanna. The fallen weak will nourish another. Life goes on day by day. The weak must struggle with death each day in exchange for breath. Leaving behind the burning sun and the fierce hunts of the African savanna, if we seek a definition of absolute power, nowhere is it clearer than in the society of the lion. Unlike most predators who choose a life of stealth, lions are the emperors of cooperation, ruling the savanna with an iron discipline. Their method of killing requires no subtlety or stealth. It is a direct, overwhelming assault of weight and numbers. A bite to the throat to lock down the target, amplified by the weight of multiple individuals bearing down on the victim. It is a slow, inescapable sentence of suffocation. A pride of lions operates like a war machine. The driver, the ambusher, and the finisher. Every action is coordinated with cold precision. This is the brutal socialization of nature, where the strength of one is multiplied to create an undeniable dominance. But on the other side of the hemisphere, where the water is waist deep, this pack rule would be rendered meaningless. Lying in the heart of South America, millions of years ago, a great tectonic shift gave birth to a masterpiece of creation. The Andes, majestic walls of rock, suddenly rose, altering the course of ancient rivers. The water was trapped, with no escape, and the Pantanal, a vast floodplain, was born. But the Pantanal is not a land of peace. Beneath the mud, amidst floods and droughts, nature is in a constant state of rebirth. Covering up to 75,000 square miles, the Pantanal is home to over 4,700 species of plants and animals. This wetland has the highest density of jaguars and caimans in the world. The Pantanal is a different world, where everything depends on the rhythm of two seasons, wet and dry. When the rainy season arrives, 80% of the Pantanal is submerged. But when the rains cease, the Pantanal reveals another face, a season of trial and adaptation. Thunder rumbles, the air holds its breath. The first drops of rain touch the ground, followed by torrential downpours. The water rises, flooding the fields and seeping into the dense forest. Schools of fish swim joyfully in the new water, while flocks of birds return from afar. Life does not just begin, it explodes in a dance of brilliant colors. This is also when the predators prepare for their feast. Amidst the rising waters, a pod of giant otters appears like arrows, breaking the still surface. This is when the giant otters are busier than ever. They are not silent like the jaguar, nor discreet like the anaconda. Their presence is lively and full of energy. With a body that can be nearly 6 feet long from nose to tail tip, the giant otter is not only the largest species in the weasel family, but also the undisputed ruler of the Pantanal's rivers. Their strength lies not just in their size, but in their social structure. A giant otter family typically has 5 to 10 members, led by an alpha pair. Without the need for complex signals, a quick exchange of glances is enough for the entire pod to act in concert. Each member takes its position and role with precision. The small fish panic as they are herded towards the bank. The young otters, with the eagerness of apprentices, wait like living traps. A powerful leap breaks the water's surface, capturing a large catfish struggling in desperation. The otter family's feast begins. But life in the Pantanal is not always peaceful. The black caiman is not only a formidable predator, but also the giant otter's mortal enemy. The alpha male is always vigilant. It raises its head high and lets out a sharp cry, gathering the pod into a tight defensive formation. These calls are not just alarms, they are a complex language. Giant otter has its own unique voice, a distinct auditory identity. They can communicate everything from urgent warnings to gentle calls to reassure their young. Within a family, they can recognize the call of each member, just as we recognize the voices of our loved ones. It is not just a pack, it is a society built on sound. In the depths, the hunter becomes the hunted. A fearsome school of piranhas does not expect that a giant otter can turn them into lunch. For the giant otter, piranhas are not a challenge. With just a few precise snaps, the piranhas are caught by teeth no less sharp. Piranhas can grow up to 20 inches long. The red-bellied piranha, in particular, is known to be the most aggressive. Their most dangerous weapon is their razor-sharp teeth. In a feeding frenzy, those teeth can tear a large piece of flesh in seconds. However, piranhas are not always the predators. They are also known as the cleaners of the ecosystem, feeding on animal carcasses and injured fish, helping to purify the water. Just beneath the murky water, a silent predator has emerged. It does not need to hurry, but when it strikes, no creature can escape its deadly embrace. The anaconda, the world's largest snake, is a legendary symbol of the Pantanal. With a length that can reach up to 26 feet and a weight of over 220 pounds, the anaconda is like a giant phantom hiding in the rivers. Its natural camouflage blends with the vegetation and mud, giving it an absolute advantage, especially at night. The leaves rustle as small, nimble feet move across the damp ground. It is a troop of coyotes, appearing like a group of enthusiastic explorers. After the first rains, their black and white striped tails are held high, signaling a day of lively activity. One climbs a rotting log, using its sharp claws to find insects. Another smells ripe fruit on a high branch and quickly leaps up. But coatis are not just explorers. They play a fundamental role in the ecosystem. As they move, they drop and disperse the seeds of the fruits they have eaten. These seeds fall to the ground, are nourished by the moist soil of the rainy season, and will soon sprout. However, even amidst the liveliness, danger lurks. A fleeting movement in the undergrowth. Perhaps a jaguar. The entire troop of coatis quickly gathers, forming a defensive circle. An alarm call rings out, a warning to other creatures in the forest. Above the winding rivers, another creature reigns in its own domain. From on high, a harpy eagle watches in silence, ready for a perfect hunt. With a wingspan exceeding 6.5 feet, the harpy eagle soars like a phantom in the sky. Its sharp eyes scan the dense canopy. Below, a troop of capuchin monkeys plays carelessly among the branches, completely unaware of the danger lurking above. The harpy eagle targets its prey, a small monkey slightly separated from the troop. It is engrossed with a ripe fruit, a moment of carelessness, and its position is revealed. Then the harpy eagle dives from a height of nearly 100 feet at a speed of up to 50 miles per hour. Everything happens in an instant. Returning to its nest on the highest treetop, the harpy eagle lands gently. This is not just food, this is the first lesson for the next generation. The harpy eagle is the ruler of the Pantanal sky, a crucial link in balancing the ecosystem. The rains have ceased, and the dry season arrives as a harsh test. The once roaring rivers of the rainy season now shrink to small pools. The scorching heat envelops the air. Every creature must struggle to find the most precious resource: water. The vegetation turns a yellowish brown. The animals are forced to gather around the last remaining pools. These are not just sources of life, but also fierce battlegrounds where the strong prevail and the weak are quickly eliminated. The heat has ignited the jaguar's brutality and endurance. Its golden, rosette-spotted coat blends perfectly with the withered vegetation. Its golden eyes are fixed on its target. An unwary capybara. If the jaguar is the lord of the land, then in the water no one can contest the throne of the Yakare caiman. With an estimated population of about 10 million, this wetland nurtures the largest crocodilian population on the planet. They do not need to hide. Their presence is the law. With a body length that can reach nearly 10 feet, the Yakare caiman is a perfect master of camouflage. Almost invisible in the murky water, they reveal only their small, gleaming eyes and nostrils, the only senses that break the still surface. The caiman's main weapon is absolute patience. a hunting strategy honed over millions of years of evolution. A school of fish swims by, perhaps piranhas or catfish. The caiman does not rush. Its small eyes follow every movement, registering the slightest vibration on the water's surface. The silence stretches on. Then suddenly, chaos erupts. With a bite of extreme force, reaching thousands of newtons, it snaps up the largest fish. It all happens in an instant. Soon after, everything returns to silence, leaving only gentle ripples and a predator with a full stomach. But life in the Pantanal is an unforgiving cycle. When the dry season arrives and the water sources dry up, the caiman displays a unique survival strategy, completely different from its active hunting behavior. During the dry season, when the water dries up, the caiman displays a unique survival strategy. They bury themselves in the damp mud, lower their heart rate to just a few beats per minute, and enter a state of temporary hibernation, patiently waiting for the first rains to return. The dry season becomes an unforgiving battlefield. One of the most notable warriors of this land is the capybara, which demonstrates its strength and endurance in a quiet way. With a length of up to 4 feet and an average weight of 110 pounds, the capybara is a substantial meal, making it a prime target for jaguars, anacondas, and caimans. But their greatest weapon is not their size, but the unity of their herd. A predator never faces a lone individual, but a wall of vigilance. Living in groups is the capybara's optimal defensive strategy. While some members stand guard, upright on high ground to scan the horizon, the rest can rest or forage in peace. It is an effective biological security system. More eyes, more chances of survival. When threatened, their first tactic is to retreat into the water. They are not just good swimmers. Capybaras are excellent divers, capable of staying underwater for up to 5 minutes, completely disappearing from the sight of terrestrial predators. However, it is this amphibious lifestyle that has created a puzzling phenomenon. A complex relationship with the Yacaré caiman. It is not uncommon to see a giant caiman resting just a few feet away from a herd of capybaras. This strange coexistence is not friendship, but a strategic compromise. The relationship between the capybara and the caiman is both fascinating and unpredictable. It is not uncommon to see a caiman resting near a herd of capybaras. However, this coexistence can turn into conflict in the blink of an eye. Amidst this challenging landscape, a small predator leaves its silent mark. The bush dog, also known as the vinegar dog, its size is that of a small terrier, but do not let its appearance fool you. Its reddish-brown coat blends perfectly with the dry earth and foliage. It moves stealthily, making almost no sound. The bush dog cannot compare in individual strength to the jaguar or the caiman, but they compensate for their small size with collective intelligence and perfect pack coordination. In an environment where water and land merge, flexibility is essential. The bush dog is a master of amphibious adaptation. Look at their feet, they are webbed. This structure allows them to swim with skill and agility, a rare trait among canines. During a hunt, they can use the shallow waters as a strategic shortcut, chasing prey into the river, while other members wait on the bank to head it off. The true strength of the bush dog lies not in its physical attributes, but in the cohesion and synchronicity of its pack. A typical pack consists of 3 to 12 individuals. They are persistent hunters, working together as a single unit. They do not just chase their prey, they drive it into natural traps, a ravine, a waterhole, or a fallen log. Their non-verbal communication is swift and precise. When attacking, the lead dog may act as a decoy, while another member secretly approaches from behind. Unlike the solitary jaguar or the lion that overwhelms with brute force, the bush dog is a perfect example of how collective intelligence overcomes any physical challenge. They prove a simple but brutal truth of nature. Sometimes, what matters most is not how big you are, but how well you work as a team. Amidst the giants of the Pantanal, this small predator has found a way to dominate. A clap of thunder, the first drops of rain fall. Each drop soaks into the dry mud like a blessing sent to this land. The smell of wet earth fills the air like a hymn of thanksgiving from nature to the Almighty Creator. The grass begins to grow. The palm trees that had shed their leaves now sprout fresh green shoots. This is not just the rebirth of nature, but a testament to patience and faith. Amidst the arid forest of the Pantanal, a clear, bell-like call rings out. Then they appear. A pair of large parrots soars across the sky, an unmistakable symbol of survival in this place. This is the hyacinth macaw, the largest parrot in the world. With a length of up to 3 feet from beak to tail tip, this giant bird is truly a magnificent sight. Their brilliant blue plumage is not just for beauty, it is the color of adaptation, helping them to blend into the blue sky and dark green foliage. But this beauty hides an incredible strength. Their diet revolves around hard palm nuts, nuts with shells so tough they are almost impenetrable. Even a hammer would struggle to crack them. However, the powerful beak of the hyacinth macaw, considered one of the strongest in the avian world, can crush these protective layers with ease. This strength is not just for survival, it plays an essential role in the ecosystem. While foraging, they drop or carry nuts far away. These seeds, when naturally dispersed, will sprout and help to restore and enrich the surrounding forests and grasslands. The hyacinth macaw does not just eat, they are the effective gardeners of the Pantanal. Known for their sociable nature and loyalty, hyacinth macaws form strong, lifelong bonds with their mates. They fly, forage, and rest in pairs or small flocks, demonstrating cohesion and mutual care. Their physical resilience and social loyalty have helped them to survive. The hyacinth macaw is truly a blue gem, a fragile symbol of beauty and strength in this wetland. The air, thick and shimmering with heat, turns the horizon into a watery mirage. The sun, a dominant orb of fire, scorches the earth, compelling most creatures to seek sanctuary. This is a time of silence, of waiting, a time of conservation, when the whole savanna seems to hold its breath beneath the weight of the day. A pride of lions is at rest. Leading them is a veteran female, her body a living map of countless hunts and battles for survival. Each scar etched upon her weathered face tells a story of courage and of loss. She does not hunt for herself. Behind her, sheltered by the dense thicket, lies the next generation. The cubs, carefree and playful, are as yet unaware of the harshness of the world they have entered. Their very existence depends entirely on their mother's skill, her experience, and her eventual success. Hunger, a primal and relentless driver, now stirs within her. The pride has not had a significant meal in nearly 3 days. Energy is dwindling. The pressure is mounting. As the sun begins its slow descent, a subtle change ripples across the plain. The searing heat yields to a gentle, cooling breeze. The transition is more than a change of light. It is a shift in power. The stage is being set for the drama of dusk. With a soft, almost inaudible grunt, the command is given. The other members, younger and stronger, understand instantly. They rise and stretch, muscles rippling beneath tawny coats. The hunt has begun. Their coordination is a symphony of instinct, honed over thousands of generations. Not a sound is uttered, yet each individual knows its precise role. They are not merely hunters, they are the architects of the ambush. A herd of plain zebra, their striped coats, one of nature's most curious displays of camouflage. Contrary to common belief, the stripes are not for blending in with the grasslands. They create an optical illusion known as dazzle camouflage, making it difficult for a predator to single out an individual from the chaotic mass once they begin to move. But the lead stallion does not rely on illusions. He relies on his acute senses. His ears can detect the snap of a twig from hundreds of yards away. His sense of smell can detect the scent of a lion from a great distance, should the wind turn. He is the herd's early warning system. The old lioness knows this. She has faced such sentinels countless times. She knows that patience is not merely a virtue, it is the ultimate weapon. And then, the one thing every hunter fears, a sudden gust of wind. A betrayal by the very air. The scent of the predator, however faint, has been delivered. The lead stallion's head snaps up. He sounds a piercing alarm snort. In a fraction of a second, tranquility becomes pandemonium. The chase is over before it has truly begun. Precious energy has been wasted, an opportunity lost. This is the unforgiving reality of life on the Savanna. As they move across a more open expanse, a strange, almost maniacal cackle. The spotted hyena. Often dismissed as opportunistic scavengers, the truth is quite different. They are supremely effective hunters, with a bite force powerful enough to crush bone. Their societies are ruled by females in a complex and ruthless matriarchy. And they are the lion's ancient enemy. The competition between these two species is one of Africa's oldest and most bitter rivalries. They do not just compete for food, they compete for territory, for power, and for the right to exist. It seems these sworn enemies share a common goal. A Cape buffalo, nicknamed the Black Death. It is one of the few prey animals that will readily stand and fight a lion. Its boss of horns is a formidable defensive weapon, and its temperament is notoriously unpredictable. A full herd can easily repel a lion attack. But this buffalo is alone, and he is old. An injury has given him a limp in his gait, slowing his pace. He has separated himself from the safety of the herd, and in that moment, he has sealed his fate. Both lions and hyenas have realized this. A tense standoff unfolds in silence. Who will make the first move? The old lioness does not hesitate. Her decision is made. This time, the attack must be faultless. She signals the pride, and they begin to silently encircle their prey. The decisive moment hangs in the air. The entire savanna seems to hold its breath.